So competitive intel, the way I kind of think about it, I I think that it can actually be a touchy subject, especially when you think about it like from like a LinkedIn perspective and like how people talk about competitors. I think really the trend that I see on LinkedIn and how people talk about competitors, it can come from a really defensive place, and it can come from a very ignorant place where like, oh, I don't have competitors, number
Yeah,
one,
sure.
or it can
Yeah.
also be um, I don't want to focus on competitors. I want to focus on customers. That they'll pit it against something that is obviously very important. And then the other piece too that people will say is just, oh, I don't, your competitor isn't an actual vendor. It's the status quo, like
Hmm.
this mysterious status quo, which is, I understand where that's coming from. But again, I think the place where people pitch that is, I don't want to actually do the deep work of understanding like who the other vendors are in the space that are trying to actively pursue my similar, ideal customer. I want to just like put it off and say that I'm going to focus on like the status quo and understanding that. And I don't think that that's really the healthy way of going about it. It's totally okay to get a sense for who the other vendors are in your space, what their offer is, and most importantly, what your target audience actually thinks about that offering. If they're attracted to it, if they're already using it, if they're very familiar with it, how it's different from like what the other offerings are. And I usually try to think about it in terms of like customer research and competitor research. They're actually two sides of the same coin. You can't deeply understand your customer without understanding who it is that they're considering, who they're evaluating. And at the same time, you're not really understanding your customer if you're just focusing on the competitive landscape without them in mind.
Hmm.
And so that's kind of how I see competitive intel fitting in our like B2B SaaS world.